Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my question is also to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Now, Speaker, I too am delighted to hear so many of the members opposite asking questions that matter to their constituents and are matters that are important to this House. And in that vein, Mr. Speaker, as the Parliamentary Assistant to the Agriculture Minister of Rural Affairs, I would like to ask a question about Owen Sound Sun-Times, who had an article recently about an issue that concerned that community. And the City of Owen Sound would like this government to help them pay for some of the increased costs they are facing due to broken water mains. Now, we in Beaches East York face the same concern. More pipes were frozen in Beaches East York this winter than any other part of the City of Toronto. But the article goes on to say, Mr. Speaker, that the Bruce Gray, Owen Sound Progressive Conservative member plans to speak to the Liberal Minister Glenn Murray as soon as the legislature resumes today. He hasn't asked that question, so I will. So, Mr. Speaker, through you to the Minister.
Thank you. We're facing unprecedented levels of impact on municipal infrastructure. We look at Burlington. Burlington, one of our newest suburban communities, now has a stormwater system that I know the Minister of Infrastructure would tell you is at capacity and needs major reinvestment because we're now experiencing 1 in 100-year flood events almost every second year now, Mr. Speaker. Bancroft, communities like Bancroft are facing flood events they've never experienced before, and we're seeing that in Owen Sound, which is why this government has put this issue forward. We have had weeks, Mr. Speaker, while these kinds of communities, whether it's Bancroft or whether it's Owen Sound, of members opposite claiming they were concerned about this, while we've had radio silence in this House, Mr. Speaker. I'm very glad the member for Beaches East York is raising these issues, Mr. Speaker, because they are very, very critical. And I'm sure my colleague, the member for Municipal Affairs and Housing, Mr. Speaker, would like to talk about this further.
My apologies to the House. It was not my intention to make assignment. I would like, however, to get a more specific response to the issues in Owen Sound, Mr. Speaker. Mayor Ian Bodie and his council would like the provincial assistance to cover between $500,000 and $1 million in additional costs associated with these frozen water pipes. Mr. Speaker, through you to the Minister, will our government help the municipality of Owen Sound when it comes to covering off these costs?
Thank you. Minister of the Environment.
Thank you. The Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the member from Beaches East York for taking the opportunity to raise this issue. We've had a particularly cold winter, and I'm aware of concerns about frozen pipes and water main breaks in some municipalities across the province. Although the winter was severe, our cities and towns have a responsibility to plan and manage their infrastructure assets responsibly. Speaker, I remain committed to touring the province and hearing from as many municipal councils as possible. In fact, this afternoon I'll be visiting with my 115th mayor and council when I head up to Grey Highlands in order to listen to their concerns and bring those concerns back to my colleagues here in government.